Mining may well be one of the less exciting activities within the game, but that certainly isn't the case for today's implant. Yes, you guessed it, for this week's subscribe button special, we are taking a look at the Mining Enhancement Implant. And once again, I'll be attempting to cover this implant completely unscripted, so let's see how well we do today. So first and foremost, at level 1, the Mining Enhancement Implant gives us our typical ability that we have to activate in game, that is when we're undocked. What this gives us is an increased mining yield. Of course, whilst we get this increased mining yield, which varies depending on our level, going all the way up to an additional 25% mining yield, what we sacrifice is 50% of our ship's velocity, meaning that our ship isn't going to be moving particularly fast. What we also see is the range of the miners and salvagers, and of course strip miners, is increased by 10%, which kind of helps out with being able to reach all of those necessary rocks. And it takes effect as well on mining drones and salvage drones, so that can come in quite handy even outside of mining if you want to be able to get that extra range with your salvaging equipment. So this is applicable to Noctises, or Nocti. Is it Noctises or Nocti? That's just a random off. Anyway, yeah, let's not go too far off on a tangent. We also see some comments towards the bottom of the skill about self-destruct explosive damage and self-destruct explosive area of effect. That's something we'll be getting into a bit further on into the implant, because I think it's a bit premature having it here because the self-destruct ability isn't actually included all the way down at level 1. So let's have a look at level 15 and what passive abilities we get all the way up there. First and foremost, we have Full Speed, the passive skill. When Mining Enhancement is activated, the activation time of miners and salvagers is reduced, but their range bonus is reduced to 0. So in this case, we are reduced by minus 7.5% activation time, so our miners and salvagers work that much faster. So if you want to be filling up your cargo holds that much faster, this is the ability to have. Unfortunately, that 10% range bonus that we were getting from the primary ability, that's completely wiped out here, so you're not getting your bonus range. That said, the majority of people, as is indicated by the market, don't care about extending the range of the miners. It's the yield and the activation times that matter more. And what I'm referring to there is the rigs. If you have a look at the rigs that increase the mining range and compare them with activation time or miner yield, you'll see what I'm coming at. But let's have a look at our second option for level 15. That is Stable Mining. When Mining Enhancement is activated, the range bonus for miners and salvagers is increased to 25%. So this is the exact opposite to the previous option. Instead of increasing our mining speed and filling up our holds that much faster, we're doubling down on increasing that mining range. Now, in some circumstances that might be particularly useful to you. Maybe you regularly take part in mining in a fleet with a rorqual, and you find yourself having to move out of range of the rorqual's mining bonuses just to be able to reach the rocks furthest away. Maybe your mining skills haven't been fully trained up, or there's a scenario that I simply haven't thought of. So it does have its place, although I suspect the majority of people will be going with the first option. So let's have a look now at where things get somewhat more interesting at level 30. First up, we have Cargo Hold Self-Destruct. Set off the warning signs. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. When the Mining Enhancement is activated, Cargo Hold Self-Destruct will be activated if the ship is destroyed, dealing explosive damage up to 10 targets within 10,000 meters, that's 10 kilometers. And the cargo is more likely to be destroyed. More likely. So probably no guarantees that the cargo won't drop for the enemy to loot. But if you're mining, it doesn't really matter because the ore usually is going to be too big for most people to loot off of you anyway. But if you're hauling, that's a whole other story, because you might not want the enemy to take away what you're hauling. But let's have a look at what else this has got to say. The explosive damage is the maximum hull hit points of the destroyed ship times 10%, sorry. The damage is explosive type, and the explosion range, the higher the basic signature radius of the destroyed ship, the greater the explosive range. So we see a maximum explosion targets of 10% explosive damage self-destruct, and 10 kilometers range. So that's an interesting ability right there, being able to set your cargo hold alight and say, screw you, nobody's getting my stuff, I'm going down anyway. So it's an interesting thing, and people have attempted, I've not seen a success, but I have seen fellow corp mates and alliance mates attempt to get on kill mails with shuttles by setting themselves alight. Unfortunately, I'm all the way down at level 15, so I can't test that myself, but it'd be pretty cool if you could pull that off. Actually getting kill marks on a shuttle. That'd be interesting. And we'll be moving on to cargo hold management. Normal and special cargo hold capacity is increased by 25%. Cargo hold maintenance, however, when the implant's durability, that's the number with the spanner next to it, in my case it's 94, when it's lower than 5, active skills that consume durability cannot be activated. So that means that in this case, once it goes below 5, we can't activate Mining Enhancement. But for the majority of us, that's not going to matter all that much. I myself only activate this ability when I'm close by to a rorqual that is actively compressing ore, because I don't like grinding down my implants over small little bonuses. But if I'm sat next to a rorqual that's constantly compressing my ore for me, and I never have to go back to the station and risk deactivating the implant, yeah, that's the scenario I'd keep it in. But we're going off tangent a little bit here. We're talking about the cargo hold management passive skill, which increases the cargo hold and special cargo hold capacity by 25%. This is huge, because you don't have to be flying a mining ship for this to apply. For example, when I get, and I say when because this is the next implant I intend on levelling up to level 30, when I get up to level 30, if I want to move things around in a cargo scepter, I'll be using this implant, because that cargo scepter will get an extra 25% cargo hold capacity. And I'm just going to bring up on my computer right now, you won't be able to see it, a calculator. Now my current cargo scepter has 1,507 cubic meters of storage. That's mostly because of the nanocore that I've got upgraded, which I believe is the Ascension nanocore. If I times that by 1.25, that puts me to 1,883 cubic meters. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of investment just to get another 380 extra cubic meters into a cargo scepter. But what I'm demonstrating here is it doesn't have to be a mining ship. You could be flying a cargo scepter, a freighter, jump freighter, a regular covert ops hauler, which I believe are called blockade runners, like the Nereus 2. Or you could just be mining. You could be giving yourself an even bigger mining hold. That works as well. So this has big implications. In fact, you could even be running a battleship that has cargo hold rigs for the salvagers to fill up. I have seen people actually do that. as daft as it sounds, I've seen people do that. But let's have a look at level 45 and what a humongous investment into your implants gets you. So, urgent reinforcement, active skill. Upon skill activation, the activation time of miners, salvagers and drones is reduced So that means faster activations, faster filling up your cargo holds. Ship warp stability is increased by 3, making it easier to get away from people that are warp scrambling you. Slowdown resistance is increased by 75%, so you'll be able to ignore the majority of the effect of stasis weapon fires. And inertia modifier is reduced by 25% to allow us to get that faster align time. We have the auto trigger system. It will automatically be activated when the ship's hull is under attack if urgent reinforcement is available. And the auto trigger effect, in addition to the basic effect, hull resistance is increased by 75% and cargo hold self-destruct damage is increased to 15%. So what we're getting there is the ability to ensure yourself against enemies arriving into system. You can align faster, you can take more damage, you've got a better chance of getting away if you're warp scrambled. You've got everything going in your favour, and if all of that isn't enough, you can deal more damage by destroying your goods in your cargo hold. All in all, that's pretty handy to have. So let's move on to where we can get this implant in game. Now, as it stands at the moment, it is not a guaranteed reward to my knowledge, but we can still obtain the implant through the old-fashioned methods. So if we go into the rewards and switch to Surge Attack, and we will have a look at one of the chests, and here we can see that under Surge Attack we have the option to receive the experimental Mining Enhancement, or other higher quality ones. For some reason my mind just went straight to the experimental, but of course there we have it, there is the advanced one. This is beneficial in that Surge Attack is considered one of the most accessible, because you do not need a T10 battleship to cover this one. So yes, it is more accessible than most implants with regards to being able to get it through the chance-based system. If, however, you can't get it through the chance-based system and you want to try your luck at getting it in the market, let's have a quick look at how expensive this one is. And yeah, I'm going with expensive on this one because it is mining. Mining rigs, mining everything just tends to be expensive until everybody's already had it. So let's have a look at experimental. Experimental is 1.8 billion ISK for the lowest level mining implant. If we go up a level to basic, it is unavailable. If we go up to the purple standard, unavailable again. And orange, I can read, is a staggering 45 billion. So there are not that many options to get it. Me personally, whenever there's been a implant box that we get as part of a reward system like a battle pass equivalent, I've just spent it on things like, in this case, the mining implant. So that's this week's implant video. Is there anything that you believe that I missed? If so, feel free to let me know in the comment section below, and also let me know in the comment section below what implant you'd like to see me cover next. At the moment, I'm just throwing guesses at the wind and mostly focusing on the implants that I already have. But if there's one that you want covering in the meantime, do let me know in the comments section below and I'll slide that up to the front of the list. But until the next video, guys, thanks again for watching and see you guys in the next video. Wow, okay. Fly casual.